Yeah, so I succumbed to stopping here to take a break. Uh, I am really way overdressed. Such a nice day. Every village has one of these things. I guess if things shift in a bad way more quickly than I would hope, it'll be kinder and gentler here, I think, because people are more accustomed to like taking care of their village. So during New Year, we went to a neighbor's house and had a feast and got really lit, and it was fun. Um, and people are very tight; they're very close. You know, not everyone in the village is everyone's best friend, but people get along. It just seems like people be able to get on with things and be a little bit nicer to one another. So I worry about some parts of the world where it seems like it may be a little more difficult for people. Some countries, not Portugal, but some countries have been literally traumatized for generations by the antics of the Vandal Empire. And that trauma is a real thing. You talk to psychologists if you want, but there's a vast literature on the subject. And we're not just talking about PTSD and so on, things like that, but just the whole impact on everyone in communities in so many ways. And of course, you know, just the economic ecosystems of countries and whatnot. So in places that have been traumatized for a long time, it'll be interesting to see how they get on. You know, Vietnam is such a fascinating uh, historical study because they suffered a great deal for many generations, going back hundreds of years actually. And they went through cycles of corruption and culture change and so on. And lots of divisions and revolutions and civil wars, really going back so far, so long. And in recent history, relatively recent, right, the French and the American Vietnam Wars were incredibly traumatizing. And somehow the Vietnamese got through it. I mean, you know, North and South, they were at each other's throats for a long time. And the US was basically just there to help one side in a civil war against another side. And they came out of it. You know, now you have Ho Chi Minh City instead of Saigon. And they're doing okay, and they have their own brand of socialism and whatnot. I forget her first name, but Oi, she's a Vietnamese lady, has an American, I think he's American or Canadian husband, and they're communists. And she's done translations of the socialist uh, manual for Vietnamese people. Anyway, they're good people, and she's very interesting. But when you see her perspective, and I lived in China, as you know, you understand that people in China and in Vietnam and other places that had been extremely traumatized, like China talks about the Great Humiliation, and you can discuss the Opium Wars and other moments in history where China was just destroyed, the rape of Nanjing by the Japanese. And the Civil War was rough, you know. You hate Mao because he's a commie, and you like Chiang Kai-shek because he wasn't. He was right-wing. Whatever your preferences are, doesn't really matter. Both sides fought really hard, and one side won for some reason or another, and they got on with it. And after all the horrors and traumas that China went through under Mao and so on, they come out the other end under Deng Xiaoping and then on, and they get to where they are today, which is truly amazing what they've accomplished, and yet the conflicts continue on, just like I was talking about on my bicycle ride. No one gives them a break. Nobody gives them a chance to slow down, to catch their breath. The empire has to be in their shit 24/7, or it just can't live with itself, right? And we don't care. I mean, I went over there in the 90s to do business, and I was just a young idiot, and I thought I was cool, you know. Um, I've changed a lot over the years. I'm very fortunate to be able to learn things, even though some people say I'm trying a shit ton not to understand. It just makes me laugh. But you know, you continue reading and you continue learning stuff, and bit by bit you will learn something or another. It doesn't make you a genius or special or holy, but you'll learn about the world if you try, and if you want to try, you have to do the reading. You have to read. So long-form articles and books and whatnot, and you have to be willing to look at different sides of an issue, and I always say that in my videos. I just keep repeating it because it's a principle. People should understand that there are multiple ways of looking at things. It just seems like a truism or common sense. But anyway, concerning the predicament and all that stuff, we can't do anything about it. You know, I get a little bit snarky because it upsets me and it bothers me so much that people just don't seem to care. But I do understand it, I really do. I mean, who wants to talk about this stuff? And if we can't do anything about it, and I've had people tell me this for decades, Stephen, we can't do anything about it, just get on with it and take care of business, and that's that. And so if that's the prevailing attitude, the prevailing wisdom, suffered a bit of sound paranoia there. Thought I wasn't being recorded. So I understand that point of view, I really do. For some reason, I can't hold that. Have to keep learning and thinking about it. And I keep looking for the signs that people are going to do something. But, you know, after 20 years of real disappointment, I'm losing it. And that's the thing when I talk about Chris Hedges or other people. They do their work. They're journalists, they're writers, and that's their job. And they keep doing it. I'm not a journalist. I respect them for doing it. I just can't understand how they can continually write righteous pieces and produce righteous content and see that it doesn't adhere, it doesn't take hold one bit, one little tiny bit. Show me the statistics. Show me some action, you know. People are out, some people in the States, I guess, are outraged by what happened with kidnapping Maduro, but this is nothing new, and kind of expected something would happen, right? And the outrage doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. I understand why people are outraged, and it makes a lot of sense to me that they would be, but it's not going to help them at all. So it won't change a damn thing. So that's the concern, and there isn't really any good answer for it. There's no good way to think about it, because there's nothing I can personally do, and I'm not a journalist, so I am a little bit insane. You know, these citizens on the tubes who talk about what they think about are kind of nuts. You know, I wouldn't characterize myself as being a conspiracy person. I don't think I am. But I know the difference between a theory and a story. But nonetheless, I'm just another one of these armchair consumers of information and infotainment who wants to talk about it. I guess if I were in the city or something and I had a bunch of people to talk with about these things, right, I would be able to satiate my need to have these conversations, and I wouldn't put a YouTube thing up. But I don't have that luxury right now, so when I'm in town, I talk with my friends, and it's always really nice. So right now I'm sharing with you. I want to put up a clickbaity title because I'd like some people to watch, and I'd like them to watch the cycling part of the video, because there's a lot of beautiful places that I pass by, and you might be interested just to have a virtual tour of this part of Portugal and so on. And if you can stomach my commentary along the way, that's even better. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now, and I'll talk to you again soon. It's so cute. This is a little lamb forest. Hello, I'm not going to bother your little lamb. Hello, how are you? What's up? It's over here you see a little lamb forest. See, that little lamb is eating. And these two little lambs are just sitting there, relaxing. I know I make them a little bit nervous, but they're so cute. I can't help myself. They live in a little lamb forest. See the little lambs? Hello, little lamb. The mothers don't seem too scared. These guys are so small, They're so cute. Is your name Mary? I'll call that. Oh, your name's Mary. Good to know. Good to know. And this little different color, not as white as the other lambs. Those lambs are really white. They're cute. My goodness. Look at that little lamb forest. In the midst of the predicament, you have little lamb forests. Oh my goodness. It's so nice.